Hi YouTube, it's Cecelialane here. It's been a little while since I last posted a video. Can't really remember how long. I don't post videos that often now. I am 2 years and a couple of months, 2-3 months out from my surgery. I've been in maintenance for the last year and a half. Running at about 150, 152, 153 generally. And I wear a size 8, 10 usually, size 8 and some 6s. But 6s can run a little small for me. I started out at my highest weight of 254 before surgery, and I think I weighed 245 or 48 when I went into surgery. And it took me about 11 months, 10 months to get to my goal weight. I lost 100 and, well, my goal weight was 160 something. I think 165, and I reached that in about 10 months, and then got down to around 150 and decided I didn't want to lose any more. I didn't want to get any smaller. So modified my eating habits to ensure that I achieved maintenance, and I've been maintaining at that point since then. Maintenance was really scary for me. I've never maintained my weight, never, ever, 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 ever. I've lost it and I've gained it. That's all I've ever done before now. So maintenance was terrifying for me. I didn't know what it was going to mean, if it was going to be achievable. In the past, every time I'd always failed, so it's kind of hard for me to even conceptualize the idea of success and maintenance together. Success, maintenance. It was always failure, maintenance, maintenance, failure. So it's been fantastic being successful in my maintenance, and I'm really hopeful that it continues. I think a big reason for my success, a large contributing factor, is me listening to my body, thinking about what I'm eating, how I eat, how the food feels when it goes down, how it feels after it goes down. Just really paying attention, and not forcing anything. I don't know. I'm not sure how to say that. And that kind of leads me into the topic of discussion for this video that I wanted to talk about. So even though I don't really post all that often, and I don't really respond to a lot of other people's videos, and I'm horrible about responding to emails and messages, I'm sorry. I'm like that in general in life. Like all of my best friends, I talk to them once every 1-2 months. If I don't, live in the city with them, which right now I live in New Orleans, and I'm originally from Washington, D.C., so, same thing with my parents. I'm horrible about it. I love them all. They know that I love them, but I'm just really bad about stuff like that, so I'm sorry. But it in no way is an indication of how little or how much I appreciate you. The people who comment and provide feedback, I always appreciate that, and I find it to be very insightful and beneficial, and I enjoy sharing your stories. And some people have really shared some really wonderful stories with me, and struggles, and it's a pleasure and an honor to be included and be a part of those stories. So, but as I was saying, though I don't participate a whole bunch on the community anymore, because I've been in maintenance for a while, I do still go on YouTube and look at videos, and every couple of weeks check my email, my messages, and posts and things like that. Wow, my hair looks really big. really large. Anyways, sorry. See, that's why you shouldn't look at the screen when you're talking. You should look at the camera. That's a pet peeve of mine. People who look at themselves rather than the camera. Okay, I shouldn't have said that. I didn't say that. So, anywho, so the reason why I'm on is I do watch some videos, and I have followed a couple of newcomers in the last couple of months, 2-3 months, and I have seen I don't know if it's a trend, but I'm just going to say that, a trend, or I guess a consistent occurrence of newcomers who are new to the surgery. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but approaching it as a fad, a diet, and when I say that, I don't mean approaching it as a fad or a diet, but approaching it with the same approach that we approached all fads, all diets, all weight loss initiatives in the past. And clearly I have no right to judge or be critical, and this is strictly an opinion of mine, and I guess one that I'm feeling enough concern about. My opinion is concerning enough that that I feel that I have to put myself under the fire and express it out here so that people can be critical and tell me how wrong that I am. And so I guess what I'm saying right now is I'm not saying that I'm right, but this is, from my perspective, my view. The reason why I had the surgery, and I've said this before, is because I no longer wanted to be a slave to diet and, you know what, it's not a slave to diet and exercise. I no longer wanted to be a slave to the up and down obsession of my weight. And when I say that, and that's a very broad statement, I know, but specifically that included things like being obsessed with dieting, with calorie counting, with the newest fad diet. I did Atkins, I did Weight Loss for Idiots, I did Jenny Craig, I did Weight Watchers. I went to fat camp for years when I was a kid, and lost weight every summer at fat camp, and then every winter and fall and spring gained it all back and then some. I did the cabbage soup diet, I did the cottage cheese diet, the Snicker bar diet, the veggie only diet. I mean, I've done so many diets, not every diet, but an unbelievable number of diets, so many diets that I can't even recall some of the diets that I have done. I have also initiated a multitude of exercise regimes. I've been a runner, I've been a swimmer, I've been the jazzercise queen, yoga, treadmill, I don't know, right now it's going out of my head, but that machine that goes like that, every kind of exercise regime, you know, to lose weight and get fit and get healthy. I have embarked on many over the years. I have spreadsheets of my weight that go back almost 2 decades. Gives you an idea of how old I am. That track my weight, my calories, told me when I had my period and when I didn't, what happened if there was some variation in my weight, like some severe drop or severe increase, notes, diaries, I mean vlogs, everything. And the one consistent factor in each and every one of these things, these attempts, these diet regimes, these weight loss exercise initiatives, is that I always failed and gained it back. Excuse me. And I want to make a really, I think, important point about that continuity of failure, that over and over and over again failure that occurs for so many of us who are struggling to battle this weight loss war and keep losing. And my belief on it, because I've seen some people win and become Richard Simmons, you know, who become the poster child for Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, Atkins, who started bodybuilding, yoga queen, whatever. I call those people the lottery winners. They are the lottery winners, because just like playing the financial lottery, that ticket that results in sustainable weight loss is like winning the freaking lottery. It was totally elusive to me, elusive to my friends, elusive to many and many other people. Occasionally, what I've noted is that occasionally when you embark on one of these initiatives, a person will come along, they will get lucky, they will get the lottery ticket, the weight loss, sustainable weight loss lottery ticket, and it will stick. It will stick. They start the exercise regime, and from then on, they are exercise people. They do it forever. They stick to it. There's no inconsistency. It's not on again, off again. They are balls to the wall, serious about it, and they will be that way for the rest of their lives. Or they go ahead and they adopt all the Weight Watchers principles and guides and approaches, and it becomes a true lifestyle change for them. And for the rest of their life, they eat based on that approach, those principles, those guidance, all of that. Those people are the lottery ticket winners. Everybody else is everybody else. And we know, or I know, we know, the odds of winning the lottery. It's pretty bad. And I, was coming on 40 and still hadn't won the lottery. Even though I kept trying, throwing my $5, $10, $500, $5,000 into that pot, I couldn't win for that thing for nothing. I mean, and every time it was like all the hard work, all the money, all the emotional turmoil, happiness, highs and lows and everything would be like all for naught in the end. And so that's why I decided to do the surgery, because I went out and I bought my winning lottery ticket. That's what I did. That's what I did. I went out and I finally bought my winning lottery ticket, and I said, this is it. I'm not buying the one where it's like roulette and I'm taking my chances. No, I want a guarantee. And that's what the surgery gave me. It gave me a guarantee that I could make a lifestyle change. And for the rest of my life, cross my fingers, knock on wood, because I'm only 2.5 years out, that I would be able to sustain the weight loss that I had achieved, and that I would be able to reach goal. So 2 things have happened that have never happened before. I've reached goal. I actually exceeded my goal, and I have sustained. Let me see how I am on time. 15 minutes. And I have sustained my weight, and I really hope to continue to do that. And I think that I have the knowledge and tools and experience and maturity now to be able to got an email, to be able to do that, to achieve that, to continue sustaining my weight loss. However, something that I've noticed is, and I probably have gone off subject here for a minute on a tangent, so I'll come back right quick, to the fact that it appears to me that there are a number of people who embark on this life-changing, life-altering journey, and they use the same approaches that they used when they were trying some fad or some trend, or even incorporating, and to go so far as to, again, incorporate those fads into their current new lifestyle. So incorporating Atkins and into, the natural evolution in weight loss that that occurs with the surgery. So for some reason that really concerns me, because I feel like when we do things like that, we are repeating our old behaviors. We're not letting go of the old and allowing for the natural evolution of the new us to come to fruition. Instead, we are holding on to our past approaches, beliefs, and as a result, I believe that can truly hinder your success. And obviously, we want to be successful. I was successful, I want to continue to be successful, and I want other people to be successful in this endeavor. And so, I know I've talked about it in past videos too, that people have asked me, like, how have you not hit any stalls in your weight loss, and how did you continue to lose, and how did you do it without a whole bunch of exercise? And all questions all like that. And honestly, and we'll set aside personal variations in people, because everybody has a different body, different metabolism, different everything, and so, for whatever reason, because of these variations, you can swerve outside of the standard and end up in stalls and issues like that with the weight loss, even though you have the tool, you've reduced your calorie intake, and yet the weight still doesn't come off. And that is something that is outside of the standard. So I'm talking about just the people who are lucky enough, and most of us do fall into the standard, that the approach I took, which I believe was very successful and which I've advocated on a number of occasions, is to naturally allow my mind and my body to evolve to the new me. And that meant not dieting. I did not try to calorie restrict ever. I don't even do it now. I never dieted at all. I did not do any type of fad diets. I never tried to, I'm gonna just eat plain chicken with some lettuce and some no dressing, or some fat fat-free, sugar-free, calorie-free dressing, and so that I'm eating like 100 calories at my meals or something like that, or 200-300. Or I never tried to force a certain amount of calories. I didn't like restrict myself and saying no, I can't have a little bit of this, I can't have a little bit of that, I can't enjoy this. The approach that I took was, first of all, which I think is really important, here are the rules that the doctor set out for me. And the reason why he set out these rules about what I should eat and how soon I should transition from one food type to another, or food consistency to another, is because I just had surgery and my stomach has stitches in it and staples, and I can eat things that can damage it. I can cause problems. I can cause issues with my bowels, where my stomach doesn't get enough time to digest the food, and then the food's going into my bowels to form, to whole, and it hasn't been broken down at all. I mean, all kind of, and I was worried about all that kind of stuff. And so I stuck to what the doctor said. And the first couple of weeks, I just did liquids, and then the next couple of weeks, I just did cream soups and mashed potatoes and sweet potatoes, mashed sweet potatoes, and like canned green beans, things like that. Very mushy, mashy food, applesauce, and then of course the whole time, my protein shakes. And then moving on from there to like fish, soft fish that wasn't overcooked or anything, and then going from there to say like shrimp, and then into chicken, and then eventually into pork and steak. And I didn't eat pork and steak for I think like 8 months, because I heard videos where people ate stuff like that and they had horrible pains in their stomach and all this, and I kept thinking, what the hell, I can live without a steak for a while, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to be hurting, I don't want anything going wrong, I want this to be forever. And I see a lot of newbies, the same people who do the fad diets and stuff, who are like rushing to eat stuff that they have no business eating right now. Like, I don't understand that. We have years to eat everything. And believe me, after a while, you can pretty much eat anything. I can pretty much eat anything, even ice cream now. True, I can only eat about 3 spoonfuls, but if I'm dying to eat some ice cream, I can eat ice cream. I can eat anything now if I want to. So I have plenty of time to do those things. And I think instead, in the beginning, you need to just be focusing on getting used to distinguishing between what's head hunger and what's stomach hunger. How does the food feel going down? What does it feel like to actually be full? Because before my surgery, I was so fat and my stomach was so stressed out, I didn't even know what it was like to be full anymore. And it was a completely new thing to me all of a sudden. It had been so long since I had truly been full that it was totally new, and I had to get used to it. And I had to take time getting used to it and feeling what that was like, and feeling what it was like to stop or to take my time eating, the difference between how I feel when I chew very slowly and make sure that, and take small bites and sit my fork down in between and everything, the difference between that and saying, shoveling the food in like I did in the past, and preferring the slower way of eating to, the older, fast way. And that even stands now. I feel the exact same way. I prefer to do it slower. Focusing on things like, well, not focusing, but making decisions about what I put in me. Not in terms of dieting, not in terms of weight loss, but in terms of health. So, taking my vitamins because they made me feel better. Eating my protein and focusing on protein because that made my body feel better, because that was what my body needed. Drinking my water, my B12, making sure that I have some vegetables and things like that, and then choosing, you know, healthier snacks over the worst snacks. Or if I ate something, eating it in moderation. So if I eat a cookie, I eat one cookie, you know, at worst 3 cookies. More than 3, I'll get sick. I'm lucky in that sense. But, you know, making sure that if I do indulge in things, that I do them in moderation. Which brings me to another point of, if you do that, then another example of some of the things I've seen newbies do is say that they fell off the wagon. I'm sorry, how the fuck do you fall off the wagon? And I know I'm going to get flack for saying that, but this is not about falling off the wagon. I don't fall off the wagon anymore. I just eat. I eat. If I want cookies, I eat a couple of cookies. But if I know I've had too many cookies, or I shouldn't be having any more cookies, and there are cookies there, I don't eat the cookies. And that is the gift that this tool has given us. And we should be harnessing and taking advantage of that. And as much as we can. Because the thing is also, the more you eat that stuff, the more you want that stuff. So something to consider is, don't go all super far eating a whole bunch of stuff, because then you're going to make yourself want it more. Make sure that you do it in moderation while it's still easy for you to do it in moderation, because you're doing it in moderation. I know that was crazy, but that's exactly what I meant to say. So, you know, I've really prattled on, and it's like 26 minutes now. And I know I'm like on my soapbox and everything, but what I'd really like to say to people who are considering the surgery, to people who just had the surgery, you really need to try and look at this as an evolution. And evolutions occur slowly over time. That means there's no rush to lose the weight. There's no need to diet or do any crazy fad dieting. Instead, this time when the tool naturally curbs your appetite, curbs your ability to eat in excess, and therefore assists you in managing your portions, take advantage of that time to, number one, learn to put good stuff in your body and take care of yourself. Number two, figure out like who you are as this not fat person anymore, because that emotional aspect is huge. And if you don't focus on that, then you will transfer your addiction for food to something else, or you'll continue your food addiction by eating crappy stuff instead of good stuff, but just doing it in small quantities all throughout the day, and you will gain the weight back. Because believe me, if I went eating junky stuff and drinking daiquiris, which they have in New Orleans, all day long, I would gain the weight. Even though my portions are so small, I can definitely gain weight back, because if I eat the wrong things, I'm going to consume enough calories eventually where I will start putting on the weight. It is more calories than what I need at 150 pounds. So, I mean, you really need to be focusing on yourself and who you are as not the fat person anymore. You are no longer this hidden wallflower. People see you, they hear you, they pay attention to you, they look at you, they stare at you. Especially if you happen to be an attractive person who people couldn't see, or, you know, wasn't seen by society as attractive when you were overweight, because of the you know, beliefs about weight and attractiveness. But now that you've lost the weight, people are able to, now you're more in society, within society's realm of what they deem of as attractive. And let me tell you, people are like all up in your shit. I mean, you can't go to dinner, you can't walk down the street, you can't do anything without somebody paying attention to you, staring you down, trying to catch your eye or something. It is very disconcerting. It is very uncomfortable. It is so out of place of what you are used to, especially if there are reasons why you became fat and hid yourself. And I won't go into that, but I know that many of us out here, there's a reason why we were fat, because we were hiding. And there's a reason why we were hiding, because we were hurting from something that happened in the past. So it is a huge, huge change. And if you don't deal with the mental stuff, if you don't spend the time focusing on that, and instead you're worrying about fad diets and all this other nonsense, I mean, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. It is hard. It is a difficult transition, and everybody's body reacts differently to the surgery. You know, me, I throw up really easily. I can't eat I can't eat any substantial amount of junk food, no substantial amount of cookies, ice cream, anything like that. I'll get sick, I'll throw up. Other people have horrible acid reflux, like all the time, never goes away. Other people have other weird sensitivities. Anytime I eat anything fat, oh my gosh, every time, number 2 is an emergency for me. I barely even know what it feels like just to go to the bathroom naturally anymore, because that doesn't happen. It's always an emergency. I have to hurry up and get there, and then it's like an explosion, and it's the most embarrassing thing in the world. But these are the things now that I have traded in for, you know, what I have now, and I'm not complaining, but this is, you know, this is the territory, this is the reality. But there is so much that you have to get used to, so many adjustments, mentally and physically, that if you don't give your body and your mind the time and the natural ability to evolve, you are not going to get the results that you wanted. You're not going to achieve what you had hoped for. So please try and see this as a life change. You know, stop the diets, you know, exercise to be healthy, to feel good, because it feels good to move your body, not because you're dying to kill yourself and get into the gym so you can feel bad about how you didn't get into the gym today. I mean, and you don't want to do that stuff. You don't want to perpetuate this cycle that we had in the past of this pure hatred. And when I say hatred, I mean hatred. Like, I disgusted myself. I just thought I was just the most lowliest, slovenly, loser, disgusting, lazy, you know, and nothing about those thoughts and feelings was beneficial to me, my family, my husband, my daughter. None of that stuff did anybody good, least of all me. And you don't want to continue to perpetuate that cycle of failure and negativity. So, okay, soapbox, I'm getting off of it. I apologize to people that I know that I've offended. Again, this is really just my opinion and what I've seen over the last 2.5 years. I mean, obviously even longer than that, because I've been in the diet world. I'm a year from 40, and I've been doing this for forever. And so this is my take from my experience on things, and just I don't know, I just wanted people to be aware, and maybe for somebody else who's kind of thinking the same thing as me, this will really hit home, and it'll help them go off in the right direction, and not mess with all that fad stuff or that old stuff, and you know, and start learn to evolve and get away from all that negativity that we were embracing with such fever in the past. Ridiculous. So I guess what I'm saying is, give yourself a chance to love yourself. Give yourself a chance to love yourself, because we are wonderful, and you have no idea how wonderful you are, and you're about to find out. You need to give yourself the chance to find out. Give yourself the chance. Okay, I'm done.